Gary Vaynerchuk believes that you have to work hard and also be patient. That you have to manage your time well if you want to succeed. And that not letting yourself burn out is very important. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my take on Gary's views on how to work hard and be patient. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Work hard, but be patient.
It's a long game. I was told between 7 years old and 18 years old that I lost, that I was a loser, because this is what I got. F-City, baby. But when I saw F-City, I knew inside that this was not the game that I was gonna play. I was patient. I ate crow in that 12-year period while the market and the machine told me I wasn't gonna win. I knew where my outcome was. And you may now be in your 20s and 30s and 40s, and the machine, the marketplace might be telling you that you're gonna lose, but it is about staying the course and putting in the work and positioning yourself in the right position to go out and win. You know why I'm sitting here right now? Because I outworked you. Zoom in, I outworked you. I think a lot of people feel this enormous pressure to achieve this millionaire, billionaire status somewhere in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It is very difficult. It is for very few and far between. I hope everybody understands, if you put in 18 hours a day, every day of your life, and you suck, you lost. That matters too. And so you also have to think about, what are you good at? Just because it's cool to be a startup founder now doesn't mean that's what you need to become.
Your first video got how many views?
30, 75, I mean, like, you know, nobody watched. Right, so like when I get emails, which I get 50 of them a day from entrepreneurs, I'm like, hey, like I know you always talk about patience, like I've been doing this, it's not working, traction, should I give up and do something else? Inevitably I'll email back and be like, how long have you been doing it? Oh, 4 months, and I'm like, you know, like, you want this to be your life and you're giving up after 4 months? Are you out of your mind? Patience is grossly underestimated. You know, I was very successful, my wine business is growing. Now I start doing this show and spending all my time trying to promote this show, and the sales of Wine Library start flattening out because I was the engine. The show wasn't getting watched, but I knew this was right, and the show really didn't take off until mid-2007, a year and a half in, of 5 days a week of doing a show, getting only hundreds, then a couple thousand views. Gotta keep putting in the work every day. 1 is better than 0. Gotta keep putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work. There is no quick cure. The hard work matters, and the patience is what overrides it, right? I don't need to get mines at 25. I don't need to get mines at 45. This is a long, long game. I'm very driven by the climb, right? I think being an immigrant, I guess, or just having this DNA, I don't like winning. I like losing. I like the struggle. I don't give about the stuff that comes along, but the game is my drug. Like, there will never be a game over for me. There's no dollar amount. The game, the process, the climb, that is the drug that drives me. That is my oxygen. That's what I love.
Rule number 2, maximize your time.
I always talk about sleeping a lot. I always talk about, like, if you love it, you know, look, anybody here, like, and definitely anybody listening or watching, if you really love it, like for real, not like you're kind of saying it because you're trying to get through your life. If you really love it, it truly isn't feel like work. Like, school felt like work. And that was only like 9 to 3 with tons of breaks in between. And that was devastating. You know, my audiobook, reading it, I'm only halfway through. That's work.
You look like you were in hell. I was watching the video today, right?
It's not easy for me, man. Like, I don't like it. And so, like, I know what not liking it feels like and what work feels like. You know, being an entrepreneur for me, running businesses, putting out content, doing my thing, does not feel like work. I mean, look, I talk a lot about hard work. There's not a whole lot of content coming for me on the weekends. You know, I take 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of vacation a year. Like, what I'm doing is I'm maximizing my 15 hours a day, those during the week. But my only kryptonite is the health of my family. From the day I left school in May of 1998 to this moment, I've always been the operating partner of a business. Every day. Every day.
I think that gets blown by.
Yeah,
like, people get stuck in the noise.
Look, I think people should, and that's life, people get caught up in sizzle over steak every day of the week. But I like that because I think I'm kind of playing to that a little bit. I think I'm forcing that narrative because I'm a fan of the reveal. Like, aha, I told you. Like, I like being underestimated. I prefer it. I'm more comfortable in it. And so, you know, yeah, I mean, and ultimately I also don't care. Like, the truth is gonna speak. Like, you're not gonna build $1 billion by accident business. Like either you're good enough or you're not. And so I know how this plays out other than the health and well-being of myself and my family. There's no shot I don't achieve enormous business success in my life. I'm too good at it. A lot of people ask, how much do you sleep? And my answer is 6, 7, or 8 hours. And it fucks with people, right? Because they think I'm sleeping like an hour. And my point there is sleep's important. Like, I don't know like who thinks they're gonna survive without sleep. Sleep's important. What's important for what I'm about is what you're doing when you're awake. I'm fascinated by people who like say, I hustle, I sleep 4 hours, but then watch 3 hours of YouTube videos a day, right? And so for me, as you know, and what you're referring to as somebody who interacts with me is, you know, Tyler's sending you emails like, can you do 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m.? Like, every minute I have is programmed.
It's like more like 11:15 to 12:25.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, the amount of 5 and 7 and 10 and 13, like, I basically, Tyler, I see your face. What do you think? It's 8 o'clock until 11 p.m. is pretty much programmed to the minute with 0 slots for anything but the next meeting. But I'm working out, right? But like for like work, 8 to 11 with 0 lunch, 0 downtime. Like if I go take a piss, I'm cutting into some meeting. Now, but here's the thing. That's matching my happiness and ambition. That is not for 99.9% of people. Time management needs to be predicated on what makes you happy and what is coming out of your mouth. The biggest thing I'm worried about is people are talking big game, but then their actions don't match it. So to me, it's happiness first and then eliminating hypocrisy. And that's how I think about it. So for me, it's that because I love this game, it's what I would want to do, and my ambitions are great, and I enjoy it. I want to spend 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a meeting to build what I'm building. It's what I love to do. It's no different than being in the studio or painting or, you know, it's just what I love to do.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a note. Like, that scares the out of me what these 3 people are doing right now.
Rule number 3, do what makes you happy.
I get very upset when people try to suppress people from hard working without realizing that that's what makes that person happy. And, you know, whether it's me or Jason Fried and DHH, like I think we actually agree on most things. I think the thing we probably would, I'm curious in a sit down is, you know, is it up to us to know when Dan or Johnny or Susan are on the verge of burnout, and or do we know, like telling people like you should work 40 hours a week or 160 hours a week eliminates knowing what they're about. I don't know what to say. I think none of us get to sit on an ivory tower and tell people what to do. You know, do I believe that hard work is an essential part of the kind of success that people define? I do. Do I think working so many hours that it burns you out that you need to retire or quit or you're unhappy in perpetuity is bad? Of course I do. I think this is a self-awareness game, and actually I think it's a much more interesting game of like, do you know why you're working or what are you trying to achieve? I would go crazy sitting on a farm in middle America or doing 28 weeks of vacation. It's not what makes me happy, but I unbelievably am happy for the people that makes it happy. I love the process of building something the way I want to build it. I would go crazy having all people working remotely the way 37 Signals does. They would go crazy managing 1,000 people under a roof. I think it's about self-awareness.
And rule number 4, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is stop complaining, take action.
Can you explain the 18-hour workday and sleeping for 6 hours a day?
If you're desperately unhappy and you hate your life, I'm very passionate that there's a lot of hours in the day. You can still work your 9 to 5 job which is 8 hours. You can sleep 6, but guess what? If you want to say that your body needs 8, awesome. So now 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep. It still gets me excited to debate with people, what are you doing in those other 8 hours? The majority complain and watch things or do things to escape from the realities of their unhappiness. And I'm saying, don't hide or put your head in the sand, attack those other 8 hours and create content or create a side hustle or a business that can change the outcome of your unhappiness. I mean, a lot of times people confuse my message. I don't think people need to be workaholics or you know, hustle every minute. I'm speaking to the billions of people who complain or are unhappy on an everyday basis. But the fact that we have this thing called the internet, and you can go garage sailing and flipping, or start an Instagram channel, or a YouTube show, or a Shopify store, we have options, and I want people to see that. And the reality is most people would rather dwell and complain or escape. And I think that's worth debating.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Gary on how to have a brutal work ethic that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, where do you need to stop complaining and just take action? Number 2, what makes you happy that you need to do more of? And number 3, where do you need to better maximize your time? And if you like this video and promise you take action after watching it, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well, and make that a promise to yourself that you don't just watch videos, you act on them.
And I don't come here to be somber. I come here to remind you that there's only one thing you can do. The only thing you can do that can trump the moment mommy and daddy had sex to make you. The only thing that can trump that. The only thing that can trump your DNA, the only thing that is controllable, if you want it, if you want this, is work. It is. It's the only tangible, and by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've stopped even, and it's funny given the name of the conference, I've started using the word work more than the word hustle, just because I want everybody to understand what we're really talking about here. If you've got a big mouth, and a lot of you do here, search the hashtag, and a lot of you say CEO, founder, owner. I call that big mouth. If you've got the audacity to do it, and so many of you have heard this from me, when I audit you, and I do, because I'm curious, it's how I learn. People talk a big game. I especially love when somebody hits me up on social like, Gary V, you're gonna buy the Jets, I'm gonna buy the Rams, you know? Everybody's buying a sports team. And I love to look at what that person does. And then I'll DM that person and be like, yo bro, nobody, unless they were a trust fund baby, ever bought the Rams when they go skiing for a week when they're 24. Nobody you know has become successful outside of it being given to them from their family. Nobody you know has actually created success without working their face off. It doesn't exist. So you can sit and talk about luck, and you can sit and talk about this, that, or the other thing, but I promise you, the only controllable thing you have is your work ethic. So, going back to the beginning of my talk, you need to deploy serious self-awareness and figure out who you are. I implore you to start matching your work ethic and your actions to your mouth. If you're gonna be a billionaire, you need to realize that most people that create $1 billion worth of wealth don't do anything besides work every single day of their 20s and 30s. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, so 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to know Gary Vee's top 5 secrets for success, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.